Victory Park, this is News 8 Now.
Thanks for joining us now for News 8 Midday. I'm Alicia Laventure. You were just watching an ABC News special report on the Iran nuclear deal. You heard President Trump there speaking moments ago about the latest on that deal. We will, of course, bring you the latest developments regarding that story a little later on in our newscast. For now, we begin with new developments in the case of Sharon Matthews. The 3-year-old went missing from her Richardson home last Saturday, and the search continues. News 8's Hannah Davis brings us the very latest now.
One of the biggest developments in the last 24 hours is Richardson police now say they're focusing on what came out of the Matthews family's garage. They say they now believe on the day that little Sharon Matthews went missing, an SUV that they owned left the house and was gone for an hour. They now say that they want to know where that vehicle went, and they're asking for your help to figure it out. Now, this is a look at the SUV police are talking about. We got video when officers took the maroon Acura from the Matthews home earlier this week to process it and to look for evidence. Police say they still have that car, but here's a closer look at a stock photo. It's a 2013 Acura MDX, and officers want anyone within a 30-minute drive of the area to check their surveillance video to see if they can spot the SUV between 4 and 5 a.m. on October 7th. Now, as people look through their security footage, others are coming to the spot where Sharon was reportedly last seen, leaving items, and one with a special message. It was an empty milk carton that says no child should be punished over a glass of milk. Now, that was obviously referring to the story that Sharon's father told police. He said he had this little girl come outside on the day she went missing as punishment at 3 a.m. for not drinking a glass of milk. We also know that this story has been resonating with the community, and this evening outside the home there will be a vigil, an interfaith vigil, to pray for little Sharon Matthews. That's from 7 until 9. Reporting in Richardson, Hannah Davis, Channel 8 News.
We have a warning now for women in Oak Cliff. Dallas police say a man has tried to sexually assault 3 women this month alone. All of the cases were reported near Preakness Lane off Loop 12. At this point, police have a very vague description of the suspect, but they say he's around 18 years old, 5'7" with short hair and a thin build. Taking a look outside now, temperatures have been steadily climbing this week. So what's the weekend weather going to bring? Meteorologist Kyle Roberts is standing by with your complete forecast. There's another twist in the Harvey Weinstein sex scandal. The New York Times is reporting the Weinstein Company knew about several confidential payouts. Harvey Weinstein is now hiding away in a luxurious Arizona resort, saying he's trying to get help. So we're now joined by ABC's Elizabeth Vargas to talk more about the Weinstein scandal, which is the topic of tonight's 2020. So, Elizabeth, over the past week, major actresses have come forward claiming Weinstein sexually assaulted them. In several of these incidents and questions, these date back decades. So it begs the question, if these claims are true, how was Weinstein able to get away with this for so long?
It's a great question, because if these allegations are true, we're talking about 30 years of sexual assault and sexual harassment of more than 24 that we know of so far. Women who have been coming forward every day. And tonight you'll hear from many of those women for the first time. They talk about Harvey's MO. 2 of them tell us in explicit detail about being invited over for a dinner party, an Oscars dinner party at Harvey Weinstein's house. This woman arrives and finds out that there's nobody else there but her, and that she's soon running away from Harvey, looking for an exit, trying to get away from him as he's trying to sexually assault her, according to this woman. She ends up having to escape by running out and crossing the backyards of neighbors, running through their backyards, trying to get away from him. We put tonight all of these stories from these now more than 24 women together in a timeline. And you see that on the same occasion, on the same dates in many cases, that he's winning an Oscar or 2 or 3 or 4 even, that within 48 hours, one of these attacks is allegedly occurring. Both the New York Police Department and the London Police have now solicited any women to come forward with their stories of sexual assault. So we're looking at possible criminal charges should any of these stories prove valid to the police department, and should they open an investigation.
Elizabeth, it's incredible just to see that this continues to evolve, and also we'll be looking for tonight as well. I'm hoping you touch on this idea of the power struggle that we see in Hollywood. Obviously a major mogul and oftentimes dealing with women who are just starting in their careers. So it really is a fascinating story, and we thank you so much for tackling it tonight. We'll be sure to watch 2020 tonight at 9 o'clock right here on Channel 8. Thank you for that preview, Elizabeth.
Thanks.
Now, when we come back, 1 week after a Richardson toddler disappeared, there is a new development in the search for little Sharon Matthews. We'll tell you what police need from you right after this.
Live from Victory Park, this is News 8 Now.
Hello again. Thanks for staying with us for News 8 Midday. I'm Alicia Laventure. Richardson toddler Sharon Matthews has been missing for a week now, but today police are announcing a new development in the case, and it may be their biggest one yet. Take a look here at this SUV. This is the Matthews family car, and police say they believe someone left the house in that SUV for an hour after Sharon disappeared. No word from police on who was behind the wheel, but the timeline suggests that this happened an hour before the family called police. So now investigators are asking for your help. They want anyone within a 30-minute radius of the Matthews home to check any surveillance footage they may have and look for this car. It's a 2013 Acura MDX and would have passed by between 4 and 5 a.m. on October 7th. Now, while police check security feeds and other people as well, others are adding to a memorial at the spot where Sharon is believed to have last been seen. Tonight, the community is holding an interfaith vigil to pray for the little girl who's still missing. President Trump wrapped up a few minutes ago his plans for the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, and he called it one of the worst and most one-sided transactions the U.S. has ever entered into.
I am announcing a new strategy to address the full range of Iran's destructive actions. First, we will work with our allies to counter the regime's destabilizing activity and support for terrorist proxies in the region. Second, we will place additional sanctions on the regime to block their financing of terror.
The overall goal is to deny Iran further nuclear capabilities. Congress will now make the decision on whether to increase sanctions. Overnight in Washington, the president made a dramatic decision to end Obamacare payments to insurers. That means the administration's revoking billions of government dollars that subsidize insurance for millions of poor Americans. This executive order is the president's latest attempt to do what Congress didn't, dismantle Obamacare. According to the federal government, those payments help about 7 million people afford the health care that they need. But last night, the White House released a statement calling those payments, quote, unlawful.
Today is only the beginning. In the coming months, we plan to take new measures to provide our people with even more relief and more freedom.
The Congressional Budget Office says this executive action will immediately increase the number of people without any health insurance. Democratic leaders Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer call it an act of sabotage. The mayor of San Juan in Puerto Rico is also taking shots at the president as frustration and disappointment continue to grow on the island. It's still in crisis more than 3 weeks after Hurricane Maria hit, and the death toll continues to climb with thousands of people living in shelters. ABC's Victor Oquendo is in San Juan with more.
This morning, frustration and disappointment across Puerto Rico after a series of tweets from President Trump ending with this warning. We cannot keep FEMA, the military, and first responders in Puerto Rico forever. The backlash, fierce. The mayor of San Juan telling CNN,
for some reason, he's taking all of his anger out in Puerto Rico. There's a big disconnect between the big heart of the volunteers and the people that are here working on the ground and frankly, the big mouth of the President of the United States that continues to add insult to injury.
This family, sitting outside at night to stay cool, says they've been without power since before Maria, when Hurricane Irma grazed the island.
The people inside the country and the municipalities, they need help, emergency help from FEMA.
3 weeks after Maria hit, just 17% of the island has power. Down power poles, common sites. Only 64% of Puerto Rico has access to water, and the death toll now stands at 45, and that number could grow.
How do you feel? ¿Cómo te sientes?
We checked in on the Vasquez family, Lizbeth Vasquez Delgado from New York, taking care of her elderly parents, suffering in their apartment without power. Supplies are scarce. All they have left, corn pops and crackers.
Do you feel like you've been abandoned?
100%.
100%?
She tells us her parents can't take it anymore and wants to move them in with family in New Jersey for good as soon as she can afford plane tickets. Some help is on the way. This effort to install solar panels at a fire station in San Juan has A-list support and backing. Leonardo DiCaprio and Mark Ruffalo help coordinate.
House Speaker Paul Ryan is scheduled to visit the island today with a small bipartisan delegation. This comes after the House approved a bill that will provide some $36.5 billion in much-needed aid. Victor Oquendo, ABC News, San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Back here at home, last night was the celebrity baseball game at Dr. Pepper Ballpark in Frisco. And you know diehard Longhorn Matthew McConaughey wasn't going to miss it. Goes without saying how he played last night. All right. Country star Toby Keith was repping OU with Big Dog on the back of his uniform. And this all was for a good cause, by the way. The game raises money for combat veterans. Now it's Friday, and that means we are just one day away from the Red River rivalry game, and TxDOT is certainly getting into the spirit. Get a load of this sign. This weekend, University of Texas at Austin takes on the University of Oklahoma, and it's pretty clear who TxDOT wants to win. Straight ahead this midday, it's time to lose the sweaters and grab the sandals. Yeah, in mid-October, summer weather is paying one last visit with some warm weather this weekend. Meteorologist Kyle Roberts has your full forecast. And as always, we're watching Wall Street for you, so keep your eye on the screen for the latest numbers during the break. Coming up today on News 8 at 4, it's been a week since a Richardson 3-year-old went missing. We'll bring you the very latest as the search continues for Sharon Matthews. Also, former Dallas star, Patrick Duffy will be in studio to tell us about a new passion project about a movie regarding human trafficking. So we'll have those stories for those and more, along with your forecast coming up today on News 8 at 4. Entertainment news is after the break, and we just love seeing her. Sad thing is, it's not often enough. We'll tell you what brought Betty White back into the spotlight. And Kids in the Hall made us laugh with their sketch comedy, and now one of the troupe's founders is in town to accept an award. He's our special guest, coming up next. Time for entertainment news at midday, and it's been over a week since the massacre in Las Vegas, and country singer Jason Aldean resumed his tour last night in Tulsa. You'll recall Aldean was performing on stage in Vegas when the shooting began, and last night he dedicated his concert to the 58 people who lost their lives. The singer says even though not every concert goer has physical scars, they all share the psychological scars from that night. Betty White made a rare public appearance in Beverly Hills last night. Take a look.
Oh my goodness. Goodness had nothing to do with it. It's just the best business.
The 95-year-old legend spoke as an honoree at Paley Honors in Hollywood, a gala celebrating women in television and it was billed as a once-in-a-lifetime event. Rita Moreno also spoke, and she touched on a painful memory recounting how she was sexually harassed as a young star. Now, switching gears, it was a breakout comedy sketch show in the 80s and 90s, first in Canada and then here in the U.S. We're talking about Kids in the Hall. Take a look.
But you know, right? I can't help feeling responsible for your condition, but then I can't help not caring. It's who I am, and I refuse to apologize for it. Now get out of my office.
Looking quite comfy there. Kevin McDonald co-founded the iconic comedy troupe. He's now in town to receive the Dallas Video Fest Ernie Kovacs Award, but he's here with us first, and we are so grateful that you came to stop by on Midday. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for thanking me for thanking you.
Still cracking the joke.
Yes.
So when Kids in the Hall began, I'm wondering, did you have any idea it would be as groundbreaking as it ended up being?
No, we didn't. We hoped that it would be groundbreaking, but we never used the words groundbreaking. Groundbreaking wasn't invented until '97. We started in the '85, so that word wasn't invented.
Before the time of the word then.
We called it slipper. We were hoping to be slipper, and slipper sort of meant the same as groundbreaking, but it was a different time.
And mission accomplished. So let's talk.
We're very slipper. Thank you very much.
We're going to bring that word back now, actually.
Yeah, slipper.
So you and Dave Foley, I'm wondering just how you guys got along.
Oh yeah, it sounds phony, but we really are best friends. We really are.
Say.
You're looking suspicious. we really are best friends. We met right away, and we were friends at first. We bonded on Phil Donahue. We both liked Phil Donahue, and he was my first left-wing friend. He knew who Buster Keaton was, and we talked about that. Like we really are best friends. I'm not being phony. I know I am a phony, but I'm not being phony about this.
So when you two get together now, you and even the troupe, are you guys still performing? Do you still sort of have that energy and chemistry you had way back when?
We do. We definitely have chemistry. Dave Foley is the one guy that when I'm on stage with, I can read his mind.
Really?
And off stage a little bit too. But yeah, like I know what he's saying, and I know what he wants me to say, and I know if I say it, I know what he's going to say.
That's great to have when you guys are working together like that. That's awesome. Let's talk about that Ernie Kovacs Award. Yes. I understand the comedian meant a lot to you. Let's talk about what this honor means.
Well, it means so much. Ernie Kovacs was one of I have many idols, but Ernie Kovacs was one of my top ones for sure, because he was very unique. He was ahead of his time. I think Monty Python. He was sort of Monty Python in the 50s, I think. And as I've been saying a lot, he was so ahead of his time, he kept getting his TV shows canceled because people didn't really get it right away. They didn't get it right away. But he was irreverent and absurdist, and I love him, and I think we were influenced by many people, but Ernie Kovacs was definitely one of them.
That's fantastic. And so I know Dave will be joining you tomorrow, and you guys are actually screening your new film, Brain Candy.
Our old film.
Your old film,
Brain Candy. One day we'll have a new film, I swear. Our film, we had a movie after our TV show was done in 1996 called Brain Candy. It's what I call comedy jail. If a comedian gets comedy jail.
Jail.
If you get to do one comedy movie and it doesn't do well and you don't get to do any more, it's called comedy jail.
Got it.
We're in jail with Carrot Top and Bobcat Goldthwait. No, that's not true. Bobcat Goldthwait is a big director now. Yes. So, but it's a good movie. There are a lot of good movies in comedy jail. It just wasn't a hit. I'll tell you what. It cost. We have a nickname for it. Cost $8 million, grossed $3 million.
Wow.
It's a long nickname. It's longer than the movie.
I don't know if it's quite considered a nickname in that case, but we'll roll with it.
Yeah.
No problem.
It's more of a slogan.
Going back to Kids in the Hall for a second, I'm just wondering, while it was slipper, things that were just sort of weird or out of the ordinary back then, you have to laugh nowadays when you consider what's considered weird or strange. Does that sort of make you crack up to yourself?
That's a good question. A little bit, yeah. And there's a lot of things now that we couldn't do back then that we couldn't do nowadays. It was controversial back then, that we always cared about the comedy. We didn't care about being good. We were just ignorant people. That people told us later, oh, that was controversial. Really? We just thought it was funny.
Idea. You're just doing your thing.
Yeah, we really cared about the comedy, I swear.
That's great. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us this
Thank you.
Midday.
That was a good question.
You at home, that's the job. You can see Kevin McDonald and Dave Foley when Dallas Video Fest presents the Ernie Kovacs Award to them. That's tomorrow night at 7:30 at the Alamo Draft House in Richardson, along with the screening of Brain Candy. So for ticket information, head on over to videofest.org. Celebrating some birthdays this October 13th, first daughter Tiffany Trump is 24 years old, and Cowboys owner Jerry Jones is 75. Happy birthday to them. Still ahead, he is a major musical talent, and he calls Texas home. We'll meet Major himself right after this.
and no other love will do. This is why I love you. Ooh, this is why I love you. Because you love.
Guaranteed to hear that song at a wedding somewhere. Billboard's named him an artist to watch, and it's easy to hear why. He's Texas pop soul singer Major, and he's here to talk to us this midday about what brings him back to North Texas. Thanks for being here.
Oh, pleasure to be here.
Good to have you here. So I understand you're from Denton.
Yeah, I was born in Denton.
Born in Denton,
yeah.
Lived in Houston.
Raised in Houston.
Big family.
Yeah, huge family.
Let's talk about that.
Blended family of 10 is how I grew up. I have a total of 13 siblings, 10 brothers and 3 sisters, so I know community well.
That is incredible.
Yeah, my mom was big on making certain that music was a part of my upbringing, and so I ran with it, and it's been good for me.
It's been very good to you. I think that's easy to say. And I understand you're also classically trained when it comes to that. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I studied in grade school, same high school as Beyonce and Brian Michael Cox and Robert Glasper.
Okay.
That's HSPVA in Houston. Then did some an intensive with Juilliard and the Houston Grand Opera, and then studied at Berklee College of Music. So, yeah, this isn't just. I just feel like saying
No,
it.
you've learned your craft. You've studied it very well.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so you're back here in Dallas now,
Yes.
and I understand you're performing at the Women That Soar.
Yeah,
event?
Women That Soar tomorrow. It's an honor where they're honoring Sheila E. They're honoring Cheryl Boone Isaacs of the Academy and so many others. And I'm honored. It's tomorrow. It's happening at the Renaissance Hotel. It's going to be beautiful. A beautiful night. Of course, I'll be singing my hit "Why I Love You." They're loving it. Stevie Wonder called it the love song of the year, the wedding love song of the year, and people are, you know it, you love it?
Oh, when I found out that you were going to be on, I was super pumped. I'm thinking, if only I'd have met him just a few months earlier.
Right. And this is why I love you.
There we go, live performance right here on Midday, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, sounds awesome. Let's talk about your new single quickly.
Oh yeah, Honest.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about that. October 20th, it premieres along with a music video that's going to really get the folks. My song "Why I Love You" is way more popular than I am. So when people see me, they're like, "Oh, okay, he's not too bad." So Honest really just puts me on the forefront. It has a conversation about being true to who you are. That's your superpower, and so I think the people are going to dig it. It says, "I just want to be honest. I want to be honest."
I mean, I could have you sing all afternoon, and unfortunately, I'm getting the time cue that we need to wrap up. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much.
We know you're also going on tour, but you can see Major, as he mentioned, at the 10th Annual Women That Soar Awards, which is tomorrow night at the Renaissance Dallas Hotel. Just head over to womenthatsoar.com for more ticket information. And for all things Major, go to his website, nowthat'smajor.com. Thank you
Happy
so much.
anniversary to my parents.
Awesome. Kyle, let's check in with you quickly for one final look at the forecast.
Well, whatever you're doing today, you're not going to have to dodge any showers or storms, but it will be a warm one. Maybe you headed to the fair. It'll be warm, 91 at 4 o'clock, 89 at 6 o'clock. A little cooler later on this evening, but still a warm evening in store for you. Temperatures will be down in the low 80s. That 10-day forecast looking like this, 90s the next couple days, but then our cool down is there back into the 70s starting Sunday, lasting into Monday and Tuesday. Some spotty showers or storms late Saturday night and into Sunday morning, but I think most areas will be quiet during the day on Sunday.
Talking about a cool down, but things are hot in the studio because I just got serenaded. I'm still thinking about that, Kyle.
Your cheeks are very
red
flushed.
Right now. All right, we're gonna go now. Thank you for watching News 8 Midday. Be sure to come back again for News 8 at 4. And in the meantime, you can always find the latest headlines online at WFAA.com.